Hey there, this is James Wilson with MTB Strength Training Systems and BikeJames.com. Today I want to share some foot placement tips on flat pedals. This is really going to help those of you that are struggling to keep your feet planted on your flats, especially if you're trying flats after spending some time on clipless pedals, because there's definitely some differences in your foot position between those two pedal systems. So first thing I want to do is go over your shoe and pedal selection. So the first thing to keep in mind is that a good pair of shoes, like these 510 sticky rubber shoes here, with a moderately good pair of pedals is going to work much better than spending a lot of money on an expensive pair of pedals and then using a cheap pair of shoes. So make sure you invest in a good pair of shoes first and foremost. I use and recommend the 510 brand. I know other brands, other shoe companies have some flat pedal shoes, but I've never had any problem with my 510s. I really like the grip on them, so that's what I use and recommend. So after you've got yourself a pair of 510s, next thing you want to do is look at your pedal selection. I like to get a thinner profile pedal. A thicker profile pedal doesn't give you the same balance and feel and power transfer at the pedal, so a little thinner profile works better. And then also the width of the pedal is something to keep in mind. You want to be able to comfortably get your foot on the pedal without having a lot of the outside edge hanging off. So right here I've got about the tip of my finger hanging over the edge. Any more than that and these pedals would be too narrow. If you find that your pinky toe goes numb while you ride, this is definitely something to check out. You may find that your pedals are too narrow and you got too much of your foot hanging over the edge. So nobody's really cornered the market on the best flat pedal. Those are some of the things that I look for in a flat pedal. So as long as you got something with a thinner profile, wide enough to accommodate your foot, then you should be fine. So once you've got yourself a good pair of shoes and pedals, let's go over some foot placement tips. Now the first thing that you're going to want to do is make sure that you're not setting up with the ball of your foot over the axle. That's one of the biggest differences between where most clipless pedals set you up and what you're going to find feels comfortable on flat pedals. So instead of getting the ball of your foot over the axle, you want to get that ball of your foot a little bit in front of the axle and get set up more mid-foot. Now this foot position is going to help you out. It's going to help you actually get better muscle recruitment while you're pedaling. One of the biggest fallacies with the pedal stroke is that you want to push through that ball of your foot. You don't want to push through the ball of your foot because when you're doing that, we're typically running or jumping or propelling our center of gravity forward. On the bike, we're driving our leg down and pushing the pedal down away from us, much like we do when we're doing a squat or a deadlift. So the foot action is going to be more similar to a squat or a deadlift than running and jumping. And with that, we want to be pushing more midfoot. So when you've got yourself set up in this more midfoot position, you're going to find you're going to be able to recruit your hips better, just get better muscular recruitment during your pedal stroke. So once you've got your foot set right, the last thing that you want to keep in mind is, especially when you're standing up in your attack position, you don't want to have your foot flat, or worse yet, have your toes pointed down. You want to drop your heels. This is going to do two things for you. When you drop your heels, it's going to help you sit back into your hips better. You're going to sit back a little bit more, engage the hips more. It's just a more stable position to be when you're in that attack position. And the second thing it's going to do for you is when you're slamming into rocks and other technical features and it's trying to stop your bike while your momentum is continuing to go forward, if you have your feet flat or your toes pointed down, you're going to find your feet getting pushed forward in the process. If you have your heels dropped, then you're going to be pushing into the pedals and you're not going to have your feet coming off. So those two things there, getting set up more midfoot and dropping your heel, is going to make a big difference with your confidence on your flats and how well you're able to keep your feet planted on your flat pedals. So hopefully you've enjoyed these tips. Once again, it's been James Wilson with MTB Strength Training Systems. You can check me out on the web at BikeJames.com, and I'll talk to you next time.